Member Gifford. Board Member Meyer. Here. Board Member Sackett-Gable.
Here.
Board President Telesford.
Here.
Board Member Vadlamani.
Here.
Board Member Whitlitter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag.
United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
All right, please take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. That written notice was sent from the office of the board, Secretary of the Board at 9:57 a.m. on June 4th, 2024. That said notice was sent via email to Maplewood and South Orange Township clerks and the editors of the News Record, Star Ledger, Tappatasoma, and the Village Green. So tonight we have a very special meeting. We're going to have a reception for our staff and those are retiring. We have 16 retirees for the 2023-2024 school year with a total of 377.2 years of service. I'm going to call the names of retirees, and you can come up, and then we can. You'll have someone giving you a few words, and then we can take some pictures. Our first retiree is Paul Appenzoller. Yes. Yeah. And. All right.
Good evening, board members. Thank you. Good evening, board members, other retirees, and invited guests. My name is Mr. Mason. I'm the principal of South Mountain Elementary School, and I'm here to say a couple of words about Ms. Paula Appenzoller. So I looked and I saw that Ms. Appenzoller's start date was September 1st, 1999, which was a very long time ago. And I just wanted to remind Ms. Appenzoller of some things that happened that year. So the euro became the European currency in 1999. Pokemon was the fad in 1999. The Matrix Revolutions with Keanu Reeves premiered in 1999. We were all afraid of the Y2K scare in 1999. And my favorite cartoon premiered in 1999, SpongeBob SquarePants. So 25 years ago, up until today, Ms. Appenzoller has worked with hundreds of students who appreciate everything that she does. And that's why we have a couple here with us today. Ms. Appenzoller has also worked with many parents throughout those years. That's why our PTA president is here today. And she has also worked with a lot of staff who were all out at the boathouse yesterday. So we appreciate everything that she has done. I've been in this district for 15 years, and there's one thing in this district that is consistent and that holds this district together, and something that I refer to as the glue of this district, and that is its teachers. This district has hundreds of really, really good teachers. This district, Rocio, this district also has hundreds of really great teachers. In the past 5 years that I've worked with Ms. Appenzoller, I can truly say you are a great teacher. And I know Ms. Appenzoller also told me that over her 25-year career, she taught language arts 1 year. And for the other 24, she taught math. So those math students have a very strong foundation. I don't know about the language arts students. But I appreciated work with Ms. Appenzoller. She's always come to work happy with a smile on her face, always willing to do anything that I wanted her to do, thinking outside the box. And I just appreciate everything that you've done for South Mountain, and everyone appreciates everything that you've done. And in closing, I just want to remind you that once you retire, there's a set amount of time that you can't work, and I'm going to find that amount of time that you can come back and sub for South Mountain. But Ms. Appenzoller, you're going to be truly missed at South Mountain, and thank you for all your years of hard work. Thank you.
Listen,
First one.
you're ready to go, so.
Yes. Oh, is this a photo op? You're like, it's America.
You want to read what it says?
The School District of South Morrison, Maplewood, New Jersey, please recognize Paul Appenzola for 25 years of dedicated and loyal service to the young people of South Morrison, Maplewood.
That picture's gonna be worth $1 million.
I hope
Make you
so.
hold on to it, that's right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Next, we have Kimberly Aquiles. And she will be introduced by Raquel Horn.
Good evening to everyone assembled here this evening. I first met Kim Aquiles in 2009 at what was then called the Seth Boyden Demonstration School. I had the pleasure of working with her for 9 years. Shana Sackett knows. We had a lot of fun, and we often had, speak of the wonderful times we had there under Principal Mark Keelis. As a kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Aquiles has always been an ardent supporter of her students and their needs. She's the old school teacher that every child should have experience. She'll follow the curriculum, but she'll mix it with, I know what else works. And she has never been wrong. Her no-nonsense approach with regard to classroom expectations has shaped her learners for over 2 decades. She has rarely called the office to request support for a student, preferring to handle things her way. So when she calls the office, you know it must be serious. You can always tell when a student has been in Mrs. Aquiles' class. 1, they're well-behaved. 2, they are respectful. And 3, they know how to read. I considered myself fortunate when I was able to bring her to Marshall School in 2019, where I had the pleasure of working with her for 5 additional years, including through one of the hardest times, the COVID-19 pandemic. We made the shift to virtual learning for a period, and what did I find in Mrs. Aquiles' class? Even virtually, her students were well-behaved, they were respectful, and they were learning how to read. Mrs. Aquiles is not just my colleague, she's also my friend. Over the past 15 years, we've shared family milestones and we've supported each other during challenging or traumatic events. Now, in just 2 weeks, my friend will take her much-deserved retirement and enjoy being Nana to her adorable grandson, Charlie. On behalf of the Marshall School community, thank you, Mrs. Aquiles, for everything you've done. And from me, as the Golden Girls say, thank you for being a friend.
Thank you, thank you.
School District of South Morrison, Maplewood, New Jersey, please recognize Kimberly Aquiles for 24 years of dedicated and loyal service to the young people of South Morrison, Maplewood.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your
Thank
service.
you so very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next retiree is Beatrice Bunch, and she'll be introduced by Dara Grinnell.
I am honored to speak on behalf of Miss Beatrice Bunch. I don't think I've ever used your first name because I've always just thought the world of you, and just, it's like first name, no, it's Miss Bunch. Miss Bunch came to Maplewood Middle School my first year, and she was at Columbia High School in the dean's office for about 15 years. I asked her, we said it was about 15 years. And she started out in the main office, and she had a lot to do. She had to do student attendance, she had to greet our very busy faculty, our very busy staff, and when she finished up at Maplewood Middle School, she actually finished, I would say, home, because she finished in our guidance office. One thing that I can say about Miss Bunch is she has a heart for children. If there was a child who was, crying a little bit or having a day, she knew what to say. She knew what to do, whether that was the main office, whether that was the guidance office. If we had take your child to work day, Miss Bunch was taking care of the little ones who came in and just lighting up. She knows how to take care of people, and one thing that people know about schools is that the secretary runs a lot, runs just about everything. I think people are laughing because they know. And Miss Bunch did that. She ran a tight ship in the office, but she also took care of everybody. Example, she was always telling me not to take things so seriously. I don't know if you remember this. She did this elaborate ruse, and she threw me a surprise birthday party. That was Miss Bunch, just realizing that what somebody needed, she was going to give them. And I know that the kids know that you're leaving, and they've been asking me about it, and they've been talking about how they're going to miss you. And that says a lot, because it's middle school, and middle schoolers are very honest. And they've been asking about Miss Bunch and that she's going to leave. We think so much of you, Miss Bunch. It's not going to be the same without you. I cannot imagine moving up ceremony and all of our big events, opening school, closing school, without you. You have a career to be proud of. We are so grateful for your service, and I am just so happy that you're going to get this time now with your loved ones, who I know you absolutely love dearly and are ready to have you in retirement. So congratulations on your retirement.
The School District of South Orange and Maplewood, New Jersey is pleased to recognize Beatrice Bunch for 21.8 years of dedicated and loyal service to the young people of South Orange and Maplewood. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Our next retiree is Stephen Carberry. And
Mr. Carberry, I have the honor of doing your readings. Why don't you come here and sit next to me in the hot seat, so you don't have to stand. So you don't have to stand up there all by yourself. I don't want people to get you confused for this particular board member. There you go. Hey, say aye. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to read a couple of acknowledgments for Mr. Carberry. One from his supervisor, Dr. Ramon Robles. He says, I've known Mr. Carberry for over 15 years, first as a colleague in the World Language Department and later as his supervisor until last year. During this time, I have come to deeply appreciate his extraordinary dedication and talent as a teacher. Mr. Carberry is cherished by his students, our school, families, and his colleagues alike. His classes were always a joy to observe, filled with games and songs that made learning Spanish an enjoyable and immersive experience. You could always see students having fun, singing songs and communicating enthusiastically in Spanish. This year, Mr. Carberry has been greatly missed by his world language students, many of whom have expressed to me how much they miss his presence and vibrant teaching style. However, today we gather not in sorrow, but in celebration. In Spanish, we have two words for retirement: retirio, I messed that up, sorry. Retiro, thank you. Retiro and jubilación. Jubilación, see? Hey, that's why I have you sitting right here next to close. We're still teaching. Most of us prefer jubilación. All right, as it's related to the English word jubilation, which signifies a feeling of great happiness and triumph. Today, we are celebrating exactly that, a feeling of great happiness and triumph as Mr. Carberry embarks on a new stage of his life, one filled with joy and fulfillment. Congratulations, Mr. Carberry, on your well-deserved retirement. May this next chapter be a wonderful and rewarding as an impact you have made on us all. Congratulations, Dr. Ramon Robles. I'm gonna let you hold on to that. And we also have some words from his principal at Seth Boyden, Ms. Glander. She says, Steve, thank you so much for your unwavering dedication and incredible years of service as a teacher, your tireless care of your students, and your deep passion for teaching the Spanish language have undeniably left a lasting impact on those you've taught. Your willingness to adapt and switch grade levels in your final year serves as a powerful testament to your lifelong commitment to education. Your hard work and contributions will continue to inspire and shape the minds of students for years to come. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement, and thank you for everything you have done. There you go. All right. This is the email. I'm gonna hold on this. We're gonna put this on something nicer for you. Yeah. All right.
The School District of South Orange and Maplewood, New Jersey is pleased to recognize Stephen Carberry for 24 years of dedicated and loyal service to the young people of South Orange and Maplewood.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our next retiree is Vanessa Carney, and she'll be introduced by Rich Porfido.
Thank you so much to everybody tonight. This is a great evening and a great celebration of all of our teachers and staff members that are retiring. We wish all of them well. Vanessa Carney first came to Columbia High School in 1992. 32 years as the athletic trainer at Columbia High School. That's a big one. I've only had the pleasure to work with her these past 2 years, but I first came to know her about 10 years ago when I was at an opposing school and my girls basketball team was playing at South Orange Middle School against Columbia. And one of our young ladies took a really good shot in a knee, wound up having a significant injury, and all of a sudden a trainer walked on the court, all that type of stuff, took care of her. I remember speaking to that mom the next day, and that mom at my school at that time said the trainer could have not do anything wrong. She hit everything the right way. She communicated. So that's what's on the outside. On the inside, from outside of Columbia High School. On the inside, we have 500 student athletes per season, all over South Orange, all over Maplewood, playing in the gyms and outdoors. Vanessa Carney is their doctor, their practitioner, their nurse, their counselor, and sometimes the person that's telling them the wrong thing and telling them the right thing to do when they're doing the wrong thing. So Vanessa's done an amazing job, 32 years serving all of our student athletes here at the school. I wish her the best. She's going to have a great time playing more golf than she ever did. And, those who know her, she's going to pet more puppies than she ever has been. So, Vanessa, thank you so much on behalf of myself. Thank you.
I just want to say, as a student athlete from CHS, I want to thank you, Vanessa. Whenever I was injured, I could just go to your office, ice my leg, and then get myself recuperated so I can get back on the field. So I want to thank you for that. And next we have James Jennings, who will be introduced by Lynn Irby.
Before we start, I did just want to recognize Bill Cook. He was unable to be here for medical reasons. Otherwise, he would have been here. And I'm actually going to let Mr. Jennings say a couple of words about Mr. Cook.
Bill, if you're watching, Bill Cook is a good friend. And, you know, I know he left the profession as an attorney to come to South Orange Middle School to be an orchestra teacher. And the phenomenal work that he has done, you know, goes without words that I can even put together. Bill Cook has come to me, and it's funny, you know, when you see little sixth graders come in and they're ready to play orchestra, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm listening to what they sound like when they first start. And I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna make this work. And Mr. Cook actually wore hearing aids. So I'm saying, can he hear with that? But Bill worked magic every year. And he had an orchestra in the morning that would come in, they would rehearse. I would get to work early, like 7:15, and these kids were coming in at 7:15 to play and practice. And I mean, just phenomenal. They became phenomenal musicians, and to his credit, I can't tell him how much I appreciate him. He and I were supposed to retire together. So, Bill, I appreciate you, I love you, and congratulations.
We love you, Mr. Cook.
Quick second, sir. I'd like to say a couple of words for Mr. Cook. I mean, both my girls went through SOMS. I mean, my older one is right now in 8th. My younger one is in 8th grade, and the older one in CHS. And both did orchestra, and you know, with Mr. Cook. And you're right. I mean, when they first started off, I wouldn't let them play in my house. But I mean, they do a good job now. They were banished to the basement, but now they do a fantastic job. The older one's going to study music in college.
Before Ms. Irby Hill comes, we have a proclamation honoring James Jennings. Whereas Mayor Collum and the Village Council is proud to honor James Jennings upon his retirement in celebration of his career of outstanding service and extraordinary achievements as Vice Principal of South Orange Middle School. Whereas James Jennings throughout his tenure has served as an excellent example to colleagues, teachers, and administrators alike, inspiring them all with his tireless advocacy for the best interests of the students and future of South Orange Middle School. And whereas James Jennings was born in Montclair, New Jersey as the second son among 4 siblings to Mary and Henry Jennings, while attending Montclair Public Schools, Mr. Jennings participated in sports and attended church. His early years were full of community events, intramural basketball teams for youth. After graduating high school, James attended Morris County College and played basketball for their team while completing his associate's degree. He then attended Rutgers University for a Bachelor of Science degree in the evenings, all while working full-time. And whereas once he completed his Bachelor of Science, Mr. Jennings began substitute teaching as a means of income. Soon he was offered a permanent position in an alternative high school program for kids who suffered trauma. It was here that James found his passion and purpose for a career path. While teaching, James worked part-time and went through Montclair State's alternative path for education in the evenings. He continued his work by getting his master's degree from Montclair State, and whereas in 1993, James Jennings was hired at South Orange Middle School, Mr. Jennings served the district of South Orange for 31 years. He was a math teacher from 6th to 8th grade and rose to administrative position of vice principal. He was a football coach for Columbia High School with the late Corey Feldman, the late Scott McCluskey, and Coach Mark Smith. He proctored school plays, proctored the students, art fairs and science fairs, many ice cream socials, 8th grade dances, proms, and graduations, still teary-eyed from each student, and the South Orange summer programs at SOMS and Columbia. He chaperoned a trip with the Spanish and French class to Spain and France in the early 2000s with friends and colleagues. And whereas James Jennings was seen everywhere in the community and believed students always came first, he was favored among parents, teachers, and students, and a pillar of our community. The impact of his service was monumental, often representing the example of a dad needed by young men and women in development. And whereas James Jennings' devotion is one of a kind, his character, values, and impression to many was exemplary. He believed if he could, he would, and he showed repeatedly. His greatest achievements are his children, his family, relationships, friendships, and the community he served. He is proud and thankful to SOMS and the Village of South Orange for many years of service, along with the laughter and good times shared. And now, therefore, I, Sheena C. Collum, Mayor of South Orange Village, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, on behalf of the South Orange Village Council, hereby do proclaim that with great pride, with honor, and recognize James Jennings for his enduring service and leadership to South Orange and Maplewood School District, and wishes his continued success and happiness throughout his retirement. Dated and signed by the Honorable Sheena C. Collum, Mayor of South Orange Village.
I'm usually never at a loss for words, and this is going to be a little difficult, but only James Jennings would have a proclamation from the town, and that's because he's, as Mr. Waldron and I would say, yes, get ready, James Jennings of Montclair. And so Mr. Waldron, yes, Mr. Waldron couldn't make it this evening, but he just wanted to send a couple of words to you. Did you, James Jennings, once sit next to Aristotle in math class? See, he was grandpa in the school. James Jennings, is it true that you had Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra in your math class that you taught? And is it true that you were originally given the job of pulling the basketball out of the baskets for James Naismith? A lot of that is a private joke, but when I came back to this district as an administrator, and I've always said I was coming back home because I grew up here. I really was coming back home because I have known Mr. Jennings for quite some time. Brianna, don't tell your age, but I taught Brianna when she was 3 years old. I taught her dance. I had the pleasure of teaching all of his children dance, so I've known this man for a long time. So to say we are friends is an understatement. This is my brother. And this is my brother who's been with me through everything, through some of the darkest times of my life and the happiest. When I met my current husband and I told him, he was like, Irby, I see something different in you, but I gotta meet him. And before I was even able to go out on a date with him, Mr. Jennings sat down and took him in his office and had a conversation with him, and came out and said, now you can take my sister out on a date. He is absolutely amazing. I may have been the principal, but he was a mentor to me as well, because the love that he gave to every single person in South Orange Middle School, the teachers, the staff, but especially the kids. He did have a way with children, especially our young boys, and he was always the one that say, Irby, let's go, we can make this happen. Irby, let's go. The kids miss you. It's unbelievable. It isn't the same without you. But the good news is that because you're my brother, I have you in my life forever. I do miss my salads from Montclair. Because he would run out and get us salads. Now, his family is here, which again shows the love that they have for him, because there's a whole lot of Jennings out there. Everywhere you go, this is all Jennings over there. Everywhere you go, you will meet a Jennings, and all you have to say is, we were exercising during the pandemic, and we would run Flood's Hill. I said, Jennings, everybody knows you. And this woman stopped us, and she turned, she said, are you James Jennings? And I was like, look at that. You can't go anywhere without him. Hoping one day that he knows I love football. He knows he knows Dak Prescott, but hasn't taken me to see him, and I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. So one day that's going to happen. And you know him from family. Exactly. That's that Jennings way. The kids, I'm going to give this to you for a second, but they want to take it back. This is your yearbook this year. There is a special section in there for you, and they have started signing it. So just to show you what they said, Mr. Jennings, it is very sad to see that you are leaving Psalms, as you were a fantastic teacher and vice principal. We hope the memories you made will always be remembered and cherished. On behalf of everyone, we wish you the best retirement has to offer. We love you.
The School District of South Orange and Maple, New Jersey is pleased to recognize James Jennings for 31 years of dedicated and loyal service to the young people of South Orange and Maplewood.
Thank you so much. So much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'll now read the list of the other retirees who are not attending tonight. Christine Bognar, Noah Bronner, William Cook, Mary Lou Gregory, Linda Grasso, Joseph Lombardo, Sheila Murphy, Bonita Samuels, Deborah Somoza, and Christine Stewart. Okay, we're going to have now an update from the superintendent.
Good evening. Again, let's give it up for our retirees. Normally, I would not speak at this particular point in time. However, I felt the need to have to speak to you because I've received numerous emails about concerns surrounding the master scheduling and the counseling program at Columbia High School. There have been numerous emails sent asking about counseling and the master schedule for Columbia High School students. I discussed the plan going forward for Columbia High School and counseling during the May 30th Board of Ed meeting, including how the responsibilities of the Director of Guidance and Counseling will be addressed for the 25-26 school year based on the elimination of the position. I am happy to discuss those again today. There have also been new concerns about the master schedule that was raised, and I will address those as well. As I stated on May 30th, the best practice for student to counselor ratio is 1 per 250 students, according to the American Counseling Association. Although we eliminated 2 counseling positions at the high school, we still have 9 counselors, and we will still be within the best ratio, the best practice ratio next year. It is true that the student counts for each counselor will increase, but their workload will not exceed the 1 to 250 ratio as recommended by ACA. This means that the students in grades 9 through 12 will still be divided among counselors, and those counselors assigned seniors will handle all the normal responsibilities that go into prepping the senior classes for the post-secondary world. Additionally, 2 substance abuse counselors, also called SAC counselors, will remain, and our social work interns will also be available next next year, led by our lead social worker at the high school. This means that our students will still receive the necessary academic, social, and emotional supports they have in the past. To support our counselors at the high school, we'll be creating 2 lead counselor positions. We will also be creating at least 1 more lead counselor for position in middle school as well. The supervision and evaluation of all the counselors will move to the high school principal, and the lead counselors and the principal will be supported by the director of curriculum and instruction. Details will be released soon on the lead counselor positions, and I am in conversations with some male leadership as the stipend for this position has to be negotiated. In terms of the programmatic support for the students, some of the counseling annex programming support will move to the individual counselors, with lead counselors providing the necessary support. In terms of summer, which I did not talk about in May 30th, nothing will change. There are 3 counselors that will be paid for a certain amount of days to be here this summer. In addition, we have posted for up to 7 additional counselors to work summer days. This has always been the practice and will continue to be the practice. On May 30th, I stated that the scheduling and master scheduling responsibilities would move to the high school administration. Let me clarify what that means. The high school principal would manage it, while 2 assistant principals would learn how to do it and be prepared to do it going forward, starting with the master schedule for school year 25-26. Please note that the elimination of the director of guidance position does not impact the creation of the master schedule for school year 24-25. We still have a director of guidance, and the interim high school principal who has experience in master scheduling is working with the current director of guidance to manage this process for building the master schedule. He will also be working to train assistant principals to make sure that this task is done for next year. I know that there is an expectation that students will have their schedules by the time they leave in a couple of weeks, but this will not be the case this year. I'm working with Mr. Pedro and Mr. Vecchione to get confirmation on when master scheduling will be completed, and we will get communication out to families as soon as we have confirmation of timelines. It should be noted that administration handling scheduling and master scheduling is not unique. Currently, our elementary principals handle scheduling in elementary schools, and our middle school assistant principals handle scheduling in our middle schools. There are also some wondering about advanced placement summer work for students. This is not mandated by the state nor the College Board. Because students had schedules at the end of June, some students were able to get an early start by doing work over the summer. We realized by not having schedules at the end of the school year, this would not be possible, and I do apologize for this inconvenience. Finally, many have asked about other responsibilities that the Director of Guidance had. As I pointed out on May 30th, the other remaining duties of the Director of Guidance and Social Work will be disseminated between the assistant principals, the lead counselors, and some of our remaining counselors. Thank you for having me time to share this with the community.
We're going to actually take a short break for refreshments for our retirees, and then we'll come back for public speaks.
I know, I saw the lights. Our turn is 7 kids.
All right, we're going to get back to concluding the meeting. Next, we're going to have our hearing of individuals and delegations. Thank you for coming in person and dialing in by phone this evening. The South Orange Maplewood Board of Education certainly respects that you've taken the time out of your busy day to address the board at tonight's meeting. We value public involvement in our school district, and we are eager to hear what you have to say. The board does have time limits by policy, and it will be enforcing those to enable as many people to speak as possible this evening. Each individual will be given 3 minutes to speak. Please do your best to stay within the time afforded to you. The first public comment period is usually limited to 1 hour, and the second public comment period may be limited to 30 minutes. All input shared with the Board of Education is taken very seriously and will inform future deliberations and work by the Board of Education and its committees. Our first speaker is Anita Rosen.
Thank you very much. Yeah, give her a chair. There you go.
Hi, I'm Anina Rawson, parent of 2 district students. I am among those who wrote to you earlier today concerning my regard for the guidance department and the elimination of the position of Director of Guidance and Counseling, which is held by Anthony Vecchione. I'm flummoxed, quite frankly. In the midst of cuts across the district, central office has remained intact with the exception of Mr. Vecchione. He is the one district administrator who daily supports our students in every possible way. He's responsive, effective, and compassionate toward our students and families. And leadership in the Department of Guidance and Counseling is critical to our students. As of today, there is still no master schedule. The nearly 2,000 student schedules that need to be in place before the guidance counselors go on break in 2 weeks have not been done. Who will the students currently supported by departing counselors, Ms. Johnston and Ms. Cortez, be reassigned to, and when will they be given this information? The teachers don't know what they are teaching next year. The student schedules have not been created, and many students are about to lose their counselor. This is normally all well in place by now, with schedules being fine-tuned and conflicts in schedules being resolved. Also to note, AP classes effectively start over the summer with intense summer packets, and the reason for these is not just to get some work in. It's because New Jersey schools start much later than schools across the country, and AP tests happen at the same time for everyone. So foregoing the summer packets is not an option. It is the only way to get the work in that needs to be done before the AP tests in May. It is very concerning in this vacuum of leadership at CHS that Mr. Vecchione was eliminated rather than relying on his experience at this critical time. Why restructure this department now when so many other things are in flux in our district and for our students? We need to reinstate this very important position of Director of Guidance and Counseling, get the master schedule completed and the student schedules created, reassign the students who are losing their counselors, and communicate to the teachers, students, and community what is happening in much greater detail than it's coming soon. Thank you.
Next, we have Jen Spiegler. Okay. Next, we have Becky Zlotnick. All right, that concludes our public speaks. Okay, then you can come up, please. Yes.
Sorry about that breach of protocol, but I was rushing to get here. I'm also here, my name is Anna Rolnick. I have a junior and a freshman at CHS. and I live in South Orange. And I'm also here to speak about Mr. Vecchione. I have personal experience in him helping both of my students with conflicts with teachers, scheduling conflicts, college guidance, even just being able to be a liaison when I wasn't able to get a hold of department heads for various issues for my kids. So it's extremely concerning that his position has been eliminated. Not only the fact that he is a fantastic part of the school community, the kids know him, the kids love him, and he works very hard, but the position in itself, as was just explained, is so critical. And as a parent, it just doesn't make sense to me why that would be one that would be eliminated. He has such a breadth of knowledge about the school, a breadth of experience, and his position is so critical in advancing these kids with their curriculum, their education, and advancement into college. And I really implore you, please reconsider this position, not just for the fact that he is a fantastic asset to our district, but that the kids really need somebody in that position. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session. Do I have a second? Thank you, Board Member Callahan. All in favor? All right, we're going to go into closed session.
Is there a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Board Member Meyer. All right, open for discussion. Board Member Vadlamani?
So I just wanted to give the background behind this resolution. So in this resolution today, we're going to be approving 4 change orders, and they're grouped together. So it's like, the internal numbering is PCO 14, 15, 16, and 17. So let me talk about 16 and 17 first. 16 is asbestos abatement in the boiler rooms, Columbia High School boiler rooms, for about $729,000. PCO 17 is asbestos abatement in the selective classrooms and offices for $927,000. And they both need to be done in CHS now to keep any of the deadlines. So the total for that is approximately $1.6 million. Actually, I have a real number. It's $1,656,876. And the money for this is coming from the contingency for the long-range facilities plan. The original one was bonded, where we have about $4 million in the contingency, so this money is going to come out of that. PCO 14 and 15 are both change orders. So PCO, let's start with PCO 15 first, is asbestos abatement for the girls' locker room. So this is extremely important because we just got money for the girls' locker room, and if we miss this window of opportunity to abate it this summer, the next opportunity to do it is next summer, and the girls' locker room will not be ready till January of 2026. So what we're doing is we're buying time by approving this right now, and what will happen then is construction can happen. The money for this is going to be coming from the new Board of School Estimates, as I call Board of School Estimates 2.0, the $25 million that we got in April, I'm sorry, I forget. PCO 14 is a change order for guidance suite alterations. So again, this is money coming in from the new Board of School Estimates money, and we are doing this to prevent double work, because currently the guidance suites are not in very good shape. All the counselors are going to pack up and leave for summer, and when they come back, they'll probably come back. If we do nothing, they'll come back to the same old suites, and there has to be work done to make sure they can come back. Whereas with this change order, what we do is we build the new guidance suites in the new place, and when they come back, they'll come back to brand new suites, brand new offices, and we don't have to do any double work. And that is, together, the two of them, is $1,269,005. So those are the two things, the two change, or the two subtotals of change orders, and we have to pass it today because, again, this is because of the abatement for the girls' locker room.
Anyone? All right, I think we can go for a roll call for vote.
Board Member Whitlitter?
Yes.
Board Member Vadlamani?
Yes.
Board President Telesford?
Yes.
Board Member Sackett Gable?
Yes.
Board Member Meyer?
Yes.
Board Member Callahan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, now we'll have our second hearing of individuals and delegations. I don't think we have anyone signed up. Nope. Yeah. Oh, do you have anybody on virtual?
Nobody on virtual.
All right, then we'll conclude and we'll move on to new business. Anybody have any new business? Okay. The Board of Education will meet in public session on Thursday, June 27, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the district meeting room at 525 Academy Street in Maplewood, New Jersey. Immediately following the opening of public session, the board will move to go into a closed session in the superintendent's office at 525 Academy Street in Maplewood, New Jersey, as well as using an online video conference platform to discuss personnel, matters within the attorney-client privilege, legal negotiations, and other matters that may arise and require discussion to be announced at a later date. Immediately following the closed session, the Board of Education will meet in public session, estimated to be at 7:30 p.m. in the district meeting room at 525 Academy Street in Maplewood, New Jersey, in person, utilizing an online video conference platform which will include hearing of individuals. The community will view the meeting. The community can view the meeting by following the steps which will be listed on the agenda. If there are members of the community who would like to attend the meeting in person, please note that masks and social distancing are optional in accordance with the guidance received from the local DOH and CDC. Action will be taken. With that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Board Member Callahan. All in favor? All right, and then we are adjourned.